Something on your mind anytime. I'm here to listen. Sister Talk. When you need someone who understands, I know what you're missing. Sister Talk. No matter what you're going through, don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. Sister Talk. If you ever feel alone, say the word, I'll be right there. Sister Talk. Sister, 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 sister talk. Sister, 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 sister talk. Sister, 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 sister talk. Sister. Ooh, sister talk.
Hello, today is April 14th, Autism Month. You're watching Sister Talk TV show. I'm your host, Deetra Kelsey. Today's guest is Angela Williamson. She's a teacher, writer, businesswoman, and mother. She wrote her book, Effective Treatment and Solutions for the Autistic Population. Angela, please.
Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for gracing our set on Sister Talk TV show. First thing first, you wrote this book basically because your daughter was diagnosed with autism.
Yes.
What is autism?
Autism is one ability where they cannot communicate outside of themselves, lack social skills. They may not give you direct eye contact. It's basically they're in a world of their own. It's like they shut down. They shut down the outside world.
What type of autism does your daughter have?
Well, autism range from mild to severe. She's like into the mild to moderate range right now.
Mild to
Moderate
range.
but going more to the mild.
Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
From the womb. You found out you were pregnant, you were ecstatic and all that.
Yes.
Was your daughter born with autism?
No, no,
Okay.
she was not born with autism.
Okay.
She was normal developing up until the age of 15 months.
Okay.
Actually, she started talking. She was reaching all of her milestones. She was
Right.
talking at 1 year old. She'll look at people like, hi, how are you? And people look at me like, wow, your daughter's talking already.
Really? Wow.
Yes, she would like look at you, hi, how are you doing? How are you? And people like, wow, she's gonna be really, really smart. Then all of a sudden, after when she had the MMR vaccine and a couple other vaccines, she slowly started going into her own world.
So that was 15 months. How long? You said slowly. How many months was that?
I would
or
say
weeks?
after when I really can't pinpoint the vaccination, but I think back, every time she got vaccinated.
Every time she got vaccinated. How many times she get vaccinated?
She had at least about 33 shots by the time she was 5 years old.
33, come on.
33 shots because they took the MMR, like when we were little, you had the measles 1 year, you wait a year, you have the mump 1 year, then you wait a year, you have the rubella. Now they're giving the shots combined. So you may get the MMR at 6 months, you have to come back and get it again. Actually, my daughter got her first vaccination shot at the age, 12 hours old, in the hospital. I have this nurse come to me.
Whoa, wait a minute. I don't understand this. Okay, I'm not blaming you or anything like that. Your daughter is born and they just pop. Did you know they were going to do that?
Well, they came to me and this nurse said, oh, I need you to sign this this
so you're
waiver.
sedated, in pain?
Well, I wasn't sedated because I didn't have any medication because my daughter.
You're out of it.
Well, after when I have my daughter, and I was like, what am I signing? Oh, your daughter need to get the hepatitis B. And I'm thinking, okay, we're taught that vaccines are safe. Vaccines is to protect our children. And, as a good parent, you want to do this. So 12 hours old, my daughter's father looked like, okay, it was like, okay, let's just sign. She got the hepatitis B vaccine.
So
then at 2 months, she got another series of vaccines.
Okay, but before the second vaccine, she was still healthy and
she was still healthy.
Not talking, but just a regular newborn
But I
child.
remember after when she had a hepatitis B vaccine, she had jaundice.
What's that?
Jaundice is something with the liver.
Oh,
and it's
jaundice,
like
okay.
you have yellow. They told me that she had some form of jaundice, but she was still normal developing. As I think back, I'm like, okay, could that be from the hepatitis B? And one thing, while I was doing research, why is my child getting hepatitis V when I don't have the hepatitis V? Her father didn't have the hepatitis V, or anybody in the household had why are we getting this vaccine at a child that's like just barely, not even a day old?
Okay, so you didn't make the connection now. So
No.
they 2 months later, they asked for another vaccine.
Well, you have to go to the doctor. I can't remember, but I know one is the MMR. They get another dose of hepatitis B. They get one for the diphtheria, the DTaP. You get like a whole series of them. So by the time a child is 5 years old, they have 33. And it's even more now because they get the chicken pop vaccination too.
My God. I mean, so.
Oh, wait. Another thing, I got a vaccination when I was pregnant too. Because I have A negative blood, it's called Rogaine. During the time I was pregnant, it had thimerosal, the mercury in it.
So when you found out your daughter was getting these symptoms, what are the symptoms of for autism?
Autism, when they stop talking, they stop looking at you, they start making eye contact, they don't want to be touched, they don't want to be bothered. They just like shut down.
They just shut down. So
it's like you have one kid that's happy, smiling, hugging you, want to be hugged, love, that's like interacting with everybody, curious about the world. All of a sudden they shut down, they don't want to,
so
they're not interested.
Overnight, that was just...
It wasn't overnight, I say it was a progression of times. And I started putting it all together.
That's after the 33rd shot.
Actually, I didn't really find out about the vaccines until I went to some kind of a meeting. It was a meeting in at Lawyers talking about vaccine.
How did you get to
this
that
guy
law?
yelled at, "Oh, you should learn, talk about the vaccine's ingredients." And I turned around like, what are you talking about the ingredients? He's like, "You don't know about the ingredients?" So I went home, I Googled up, I searched ingredients. I was totally shocked. I even called the company, I called Merrick. All the companies said, yes, we do have thimerosal in it. Yes, we even have aborted fetal tissues in it.
So what is their logic for having all this toxic
Well, they
ingredients?
said thimerosal, even though the thimerosal is not in MMRs and other vaccines, is to keep it from getting contaminated. Contamination is to preserve it longer.
Okay. Next up, you saw that you had your daughter was diagnosed with autism.
Actually, I went to my daughter's pediatrician because she was talking at a certain time. Then she stopped, and I told him, I said, there's something wrong with my daughter. Why she stopped talking? He said, "Oh, she's all right. She's fine. Some children, they take a little longer to go through the milestone." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yes." Oh. Then months and months, a year, she's not talking, and he's like, "Okay, yeah,
something's wrong."
Something's wrong." So he had me go to a developmental psychologist, and that's when she gave me the diagnosis.
So when they gave you the diagnosis, they gave you medication?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Actually, she got diagnosed when she was 2 years old, like 2.5. What they were trying to do is try to get early intervention, like get her into preschool. So I said, okay, let's get her into preschool and try to work with her. And then they try to move it up, go
Was
to
it a special preschool?
It's a special preschool for children with autism or with children with developmental disabilities.
Okay, so after that?
After that, then she went to public school.
Okay. And then, how old was she then?
She was 5 years old. Kindergarten, 5 years old, going on 6 first. 5 years old.
So what was the age that you said, wait a minute, was it after, was she ever on medication?
No, my daughter never I don't really believe, well, I'm not saying medication is bad. I mean, if medication works for a person, you tried everything else and that medication worked, take it. But medication sometimes is overdriven, like, oh, just try this pill, and I think it's unnecessary.
So what was the straw that pretty much broke the camel's back, that you said, I gotta do this, I gotta take this into my own hands?
When she entered the public school system, a lot of the educational treatment that they were giving her was not appropriate.
Such as?
Such as, the speech therapy. They were like having her, she was learning how to talk. Instead of building on her language, they'll have her sign, stuff like that. I'm like, if she's talking, why would you have, well, we don't understand. I said, then build it up, work with a speech therapist where she could talk clearly and slowly. Or they wasn't using the occupational therapy techniques. Or it was like more of a, when they were teaching her, it was not motivation. It was like, you're going to learn this. What does this say? It's more like a force. It was more like, we're going to correct these behaviors. We're going to try to change you. And the more they tried to do that to her, the more she rebelled.
Oh, really?
And as she rebelled, then they were looking at me, well, it's to the point where we don't want your daughter here no more. Then I start doing the research. I say, you know what? Something is not right. Let me start researching other alternative methods.
Here's your daughter. That's
Yes,
her. I was looking at her. She has a pretty smile.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
And she didn't used to always give that direct eye contact.
Oh, really? Before you start doing
She used to look the other way, her eyes be somewhere else, and you'd be like, okay, that child's not paying attention. But with the therapies and the treatment, it's like I'm slowly graduating. I'm not trying to tell people this is a cure to cure your child. I'm just trying to tell them to help them be comfortable and to make them happy.
When we were on the phone before the show began, first of all, I want to say I do believe that there are some people out there that knows of someone who has an autistic child or have an autistic child themselves. Please call in. Angela is full of information, and I know she can answer any of your questions that you may have. 212-757-1393. That's 212-757-1393. What I do like about what you're doing, Angela, is that you're taking it upon yourself to go ahead and not just believe anything that was given to you. Although you did take 33 shots, which is understandable. I probably would have done the same thing if I had a child. But afterwards, you said, "Wait a minute, stop," and that was a lot of work. How long did it take for you to get this book going?
I did research, like over 13 years of research.
Really? 13 years?
Because not only that I researched it, I asked people, I applied to my daughter, I got other parents' input to make sure that, okay, this is really effective.
That's something else. We have a phone call. Caller, you watching Sister Talk TV show. Hi, how are you doing? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing? What's your question or comment?
I'm fine. My name is Ernesta Young.
Hi, Ms. Young.
And this is my field of work. And before 1945, mothers went to the hospital, and they have a baby. The mother would stay 7 to 8 days.
Wow. Okay.
And when they came home to give the baby milk formula, but they was dealing with Carnation milk or Sheffield milk at the time, you understand? By 1947, 47 going into 48, they switch it and start putting them different formula milks that you shake up and put in the thing. And that's when kids start having different problems. Prior to that, they didn't have problems. I was born bow-legged and couldn't walk, but they kept me home and dealt with me. And they dealt with, at that time, Karo syrup into your milk. You understand?
Yes.
It's different things that we went through, and these are the things that we grew up with. Especially the people from the West Indian Islands, you understand? And even the people in the South.
Yeah, especially the South, you're right.
They didn't have this powder milk that these kids are having all kind of problems. And when they get 15 and 16, they want to give them a medication continuously.
Right.
Because they started medication by giving them pills in the beginning. You understand?
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Young. So how's your daughter doing now?
She's doing pretty good. She's in her teenage mood, and you know how that is.
Oh, really?
Where she wants to be. Yeah, they go through their stages. She's going through
just like anybody else.
Just like anybody else. She wants to do her independence. She wants to do her little thing, and I give her the freedom. I'm like, okay, we could do.
There's a picture of her on the beach. And you're just smiling and,
And my daughter used to be scared to go to the beach because the sand would bother her, the touch of the sand. Now, with the therapy, I use the Sunrise program, which I engage with her.
The Sunrise program, what's that
Sunrise is a very effective program in teaching children
and
adults. Actually, it's a home-based program.
Okay, really? Okay.
So any parents out there, if you the school system is not meeting your needs and you can't afford to go to these nice schools, which we can discuss later, you can use the Sunrise program, create your own home-based program, get volunteers, train the volunteers, and have everybody work with your child.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
You said discuss later, but let's talk about that now.
Okay.
So how did you get involved in do your research?
I did research. I was I was on the internet because certain behaviors that she was having, I said, okay, there got to be something out there I got to try to help this child.
The calls are coming in. Yeah. Caller, you watch the Sister Talk TV show. Say hello to Angela. Caller?
Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, hello. My name is Doug Handy. Angela, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Angela, is the incidence of autism higher amongst African Americans than it is amongst other groups of people?
No. According to my research, no. It affects all racial, all social economics group. You have children from poor all the way to very wealthy. I have dealt with wealthy people that came to me and was like, wow, you should write a book on this, because they was learning from me. So it affects all racial groups. I mean, from my experience and with me dealing with children with autism, it affects all social economics group.
All right. Okay, now the other question I have for you, Angela, I live at Graham Court. Weren't you my neighbor? Didn't you live here at some point?
Yes, yes, I did.
thought so. When I saw you, I said, oh, I know
It's a
her.
small world.
Yes, yes.
Right. This is a wonderful program, and I want to hear more, so I'm going to get off the phone because I'd rather hear you ladies talk.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug.
You're quite welcome. Bye-bye.
He had a great question there. But the question I want to piggyback off that question is, are we more likely to be put on drugs in those shock treatment than any other group?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Why do you think that's the, why you
Unfortunately, like I said, if parents don't do research and we go along, like, okay, the doctor says, okay, let me try this, or you have some people that's very unprofessional and they may tell you something that's totally true, like, well, if you don't put your kid on this, then I'm gonna tell that you're having medical neglect. Some parents have told me that. And I would have to tell them, no, as a parent, you have a right not to medicate your child and to use alternative therapy.
Isn't it a threat if you don't medicate your child that you'd be taken off like Medicaid or certain?
No. I mean, they could try it. Some people will say, well, if you don't do this, then I'm going to report you.
Right.
No. They may lie to you and say that, and that's when you have to say, okay, do it, and I'll call my lawyer, or you get an advocate for you.
Okay, with medication, aren't a lot of mothers getting paid also to put their child on medication?
They have some studies, where they compensate parents. They tell you, we want this medication, we want your child to try it, and we'll compensate you, yes. But then a lot of parents, they don't research, okay, let me look at the medication, let me see the side effects. Or they do like a study. You would take, be in a study group. But see, medication is like a Band-Aid. It's like you put it, instead of dealing with the issue as whole. Because I just knew in my well-being, I'm like, no medication, no.
Well, I have to say this, the purpose again of Sister Talk TV show is really to show, I feel, images that we don't necessarily see on the general TV. Sure, we have Holly Robinson, and I salute her very much for doing what she's doing for autism. But I'm talking about people that are doing things in our community. How can they get a hold of your book?
Well, my book is available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, everywhere books are sold. If you go to a bookstore and they don't have it, they can order it for you. And other online retail stores.
Okay. Effective treatments and solutions for the autistic population. We're about to wrap up, but before we came over here, Z Starman asked me, did I have a closing statement? And I said, no, not really. And we talked about it, and we came up with this statement that autistic children or special needs children are really special children. They are God's children. They are children of God, a child of God. It's nothing that you did, the mother, nothing that the father did. They're here. I have had the opportunity to be around Down syndrome children, autistic children, and what I got from them is love, love, love. And they're just love. That's all I have to say, just love. Thank you, Angela.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Angela, for informing me and informing our viewers on
Thank
autism.
you for having me. Thank you.
Mothers out there, your intuition is strong, particularly when it comes to your child. Just do the right thing. I'm Deetra Kelsey. You're watching Sister Talk TV show. I'm wishing you peace, love, and light. And like us on Facebook. And we're on Twitter, Sister Talk TV. Bye.
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 What I'm trying to do with my daughter is get her body back in balance. When you have your body back in balance, the hormones in balance, everything is in sync. That's when you have harmony.
You're getting to the point, year by year, you see an improvement in your daughter.
Yes,
What do you see?
I see improvement, and I see sometimes teenage stuff.
Oh, yeah, talk about that. That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know.
Let's get real now. Mother the teenager.
Listen, she go through the stages too, where she rebels. Like, no, I want to do X, Y, and Z. But it's how you address it. Like, sure, you can do that, but you can do it at this time.
Okay.
Have her have where she have choices. What do you want to do? What do you want to wear? See, that's very important when you're dealing with actually atypical children or teenage children, or you're dealing with adults or teenagers with autism. You have to give them a choice. They have to have some kind of control within their environment. If you control everything, well, I'm going to, actually had a friend, she was telling me that she dresses her son and he's 22, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Have him.
His poor wife, his future wife, a girlfriend.
Well, he has autism. I said, have him.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I said, have him pick out, and he was giving her a hard time where he was rebelling and started to hit on her. I said, first of all, he's not 10 anymore. He's a young man. Let him choose what outfit he want to wear. Let him choose what he want to eat, as long as it's healthy. Let him have a say in his life. If he want to go to the movies, okay, let's set a time and date, go to the movies. That's what I do with my daughter, and you see the behavior. You can't treat, the problem with the medical community, they want to use the same therapy treatment that they'll do with the 5-year-old with the teenager. You can't do it like that. Because actually I took, this is a little funny, I took my child to an interview to go to the school. They had all these little toys. And I'm like, my daughter does not play with toys.
Really?
And they looked at each other. I said, she likes music. She like, okay, do you have a ball she can play with? She'll bounce on a ball. She likes music. She loves it when I dance. Actually, she wants me to buy a car to drive her around the city.
Zaki used to work for Parks and Recreation. There was this child, how old was he, 12, 14 years old?
He was telling me.
And he was autistic. I fell so in love with him. I just wanted the kids for myself. And the kids would tease him. He says, what would he say, Zaki?
He's not retarded. I remember he told me.
I'm not retarded. I'm autistic. And he wasn't ashamed to say it. It's just his motor skills was kind of.
And I was telling him that's a sensory issue. OT, if you get a sensory integration, that will build up his motor skills. Because if you're playing hardball and you can't make sense of your surrounding, that ball's gonna hit you in the head.
Well, I thought Raphael was very, very smart. I thought he was, because the kids would come at him with stuff and he would just come back with them, And I said, Zaki, he's using that autistic thing just to get back at them.
Some of them are very, my daughter, you have some kids and I had to sit down and educate children. And like, how you feel someone teach you because of the color of your skin? To get them to think, how you feel someone treats you because you're fat and you're short? To get them to think, we don't tease people, we try to understand them.